Emily's head spun. She couldn't answer. Not yet. Not when Jason was waiting for her. Not when her own reflection confused her more with every passing day. But her mother's words rang like a bell, mask or existence. And deep down, Emily knew she couldn't pretend much longer. The weekend passed in a blur. Emily, though back in Tyler's clothes, couldn't shake the lingering weight of the sundress, the glow of carnival lights, or Jason's easy grin. Every time she passed her mirror, she half expected to see Emily's reflection smiling back. By Monday morning, Tyler Hastings returned to school. Jeans, hoodie, sneakers. Normal. Invisible. But as he walked the crowded halls, one name echoed in his head, Emily. Tyler was halfway to math class when he caught Jason's voice down the hallway, laughing with his teammates. For a moment, relief swept over him. Jason hadn't connected the dots. Until Jason's gaze flicked up. Their eyes locked. Jason's grin faltered, replaced by something sharper. Curious. Searching. He tilted his head, almost as if he were trying to place a puzzle piece. Tyler's stomach dropped. He shoved his hands into his hoodie pocket and walked faster. But Jason didn't call his name. He just watched. At lunch, things got worse. Nancy, the neighbor who had nearly spotted Emily at the carnival, plopped her tray down across from Tyler's with a sly smile. "So," she said casually, poking at her salad. "Funny thing. I was at the carnival Friday night. Thought I saw your mom. But she wasn't alone." Tyler's fork clattered against his tray. "Oh. Yeah." Nancy leaned closer, her eyes gleaming. "She had some girl with her. Pretty. Long hair. Kinda familiar." Tyler's blood ran cold. "Probably my cousin," he said quickly. "She was visiting for the week." Nancy smirked. That's what I figured. Strange though. She looked a lot like you." Tyler forced a laugh. "You need glasses." But Nancy's grin didn't fade. "Maybe. Or maybe you've got secrets." She winked and sauntered off, leaving Tyler shaken. After school, Tyler shoved his books into his locker, desperate to escape before anyone else cornered him. But as he turned, Jason was waiting. "Hey." Tyler froze. Hey, man." Jason studied him, eyes narrowing. "So, you're mom's niece." "Emily." Tyler's breath caught. Jason stepped closer, lowering his voice. "She's something else. Cute. Funny. Got this shy thing going on. I like it." Tyler's pulse hammered. "Yeah. That's good for you, I guess." Jason tilted his head, eyes sharp. "Weird, though. She looks a little like you." Tyler forced a shaky laugh. "Guess my family's got strong genes." Jason didn't smile. He just stared for a long moment, then clapped Tyler on the shoulder. "Tell your mom I said hi. And tell Emily," his grin returned, slow and deliberate. "I'm not giving up." Then he walked off, leaving Tyler trembling by his locker. That evening, Tyler stormed into the kitchen. "Mom, Jason's suspicious. Nancy's suspicious. This whole thing is going to blow up in my face." Lorraine stayed perfectly calm, sipping her tea. "Then don't let it." Tyler threw his hands up. "That's not an answer." She leaned forward, her eyes glinting with quiet resolve. "Listen to me, Emily. Every disguise, every story, it only works if you believe it. If you panic, they'll see through you. But if you walk into the world as Emily, with your head high, they won't question a thing." Tyler blinked. "So what, you want me to keep this up? Even at school?" Lorraine's smile was faint, but unmistakably proud. "Why not? You've already fooled the neighbors. Jason's practically enchanted. Nancy suspects, but suspicion isn't proof. The only person who can break this illusion is you. Emily swallowed hard, her chest tightening. Because for the first time, she realized her mother wasn't just indulging a game anymore. She was pushing her toward something bigger. Something dangerous. The next few days were torture. Tyler tried to disappear into his hoodie, his sneakers, his ordinary life, but every time he passed a mirror, Emily flickered back at him. Soft hair. Shy smile. The girl Jason wanted, and Nancy suspected. There was no escaping her. Wednesday night, his phone buzzed with a message. It wasn't unusual, Jason sometimes texted about practice or homework. But this wasn't that. Jason, hey Emily. Got your number from your mom. Hope you don't mind. Tyler's stomach dropped. His mother. Of course she'd given it to him. Another buzz. Jason, there's a lake outside town. Quiet. Thought we could hang out there. Just us. Friday night. Tyler's breath caught. Just us. Away from crowds. Away from cover. The carnival had been a blur of lights and people, safe distractions. But a secluded lake? No buffer. No escape. And yet, a part of him trembled with something other than fear. Jason wanted her. Not Tyler. Her. The next morning, things got worse. Nancy cornered him by the lockers, her smirk sharper than usual. So, Tyler, your cousin still in town? He forced a casual shrug. Yeah. Why? Nancy leaned in, lowering her voice. Because I saw her again. By the bakery. Same blue dress from the carnival. She looked cozy with Jason Miller. Tyler's pulse hammered. You must have mistaken someone else. Nancy's smile widened, shark-like. Maybe. Or maybe you've got a secret. And don't worry, she tapped the side of her nose, I'm very good at keeping secrets. For a price. Tyler stiffened. What's that supposed to mean? But Nancy just laughed, swaying away with her friends, leaving him reeling. That evening, Tyler confronted his mother. Nancy knows. She's on to me. And Jason, he wants to see me again. Alone. What am I supposed to do? Lorraine remained calm, almost smug. Exactly what you've been doing. You keep being Emily. You let Jason see her. And as for Nancy, let her suspect all she wants. The stronger your performance, the weaker her proof. Tyler's voice cracked. Mom, this isn't a game anymore. Jason's not flirting for fun, he thinks I'm someone I'm not. Lorraine's gaze softened, but her words were steel. Sweetheart, maybe Emily is someone you are. Maybe Jason's the only one honest enough to recognize her. Tyler's breath caught. He hated that her words made something inside him ache. Friday night loomed like a storm cloud. The text still glowed on his phone, the lake. Just us. Part of him wanted to delete it, to stay home, to let Emily fade back into a fantasy. But another part, the part that remembered Jason's grin on the Ferris wheel, the stuffed rabbit tucked beside his bed, the thrill of being seen, whispered that he couldn't walk away. Because Emily wasn't fading. She was growing. And soon, she would have to decide whether to step fully into the world Jason offered, or risk Nancy tearing the secret apart. Friday came too quickly. All day Emily, felt like he was living on borrowed time. Nancy's smirk haunted him in the hallways, Lorraine's cool encouragement echoed in his mind, and Jason's text burned in his pocket like a spark waiting to ignite. By sunset, there was no turning back. Lorraine stood at the doorway to Emily's room, watching her daughter, no, her son, slip into the sky blue sundress again. She fastened the silver pendant around Emily's neck herself. You don't have to do this, she said softly. But if you do, go as Emily. Not Tyler in a dress. Emily. Emily swallowed hard. And if he finds out? Lorraine's smile was faint, almost sad. Then you'll learn who's really looking at you, the boy you were, or the girl you've become. Jason was waiting at the curb, leaning against his car with that same easy grin. The headlights carved him in gold and shadow. Right on time, he said as Emily approached, her heels clicking against the pavement. He opened the door for her like a gentleman, his grin softening into something warmer. You look beautiful. Emily's stomach fluttered. She slid into the seat, clutching her little bag as Jason drove them out of Maplewood, toward the lake where the carnival lights couldn't hide her anymore. The lake was calm, black glass under the crescent moon. Crickets hummed in the reeds, and the only light came from Jason's car parked at the edge, its beams washing across the water. Jason killed the engine. Silence settled. He turned toward her, leaning back with casual confidence, but his eyes were intent. You know, I'm glad you came. I was half afraid you'd ghost me. Emily forced a small smile. I thought about it. Jason chuckled. Yeah, I figured. You've got that mysterious vibe, like you're always keeping something close to the chest. But that just makes me want to know you more. Her chest tightened. He didn't know how close to the truth he was. They walked down to the water's edge, the sand cool beneath Emily's sandals. Jason skipped a stone across the surface, watching it ripple. You're not like the other girls here, he said finally, his voice lower. They're loud, obvious. You're different. Emily's breath hitched. Different isn't always good. Jason stepped closer. Sometimes it's the best thing. The world seemed to hold its breath as he leaned in. His face was so close she could see the reflection of the moon in his eyes. His hand brushed her arm, light as a whisper. For a moment, she froze, caught between the panic of being discovered and the intoxicating pull of being wanted. Then headlights flashed across the water. Emily jerked back as another car pulled into the lot above the shore. Music blared faintly through rolled-down windows. A group of teenagers spilled out, laughing, carrying drinks. Jason swore under his breath. Figures. He glanced at Emily, reading the fear in her wide eyes. Relax. They won't bother us. But Emily recognized one of the silhouettes. Her stomach dropped. Nancy. She ducked her head, heart pounding. If Nancy came closer, if she saw Emily here with Jason, it would all be over. Jason frowned, noticing her panic. What's wrong? Emily's voice trembled. We can't stay. Please. Take me home. Jason hesitated, clearly torn, but the urgency in her tone was enough. He nodded, leading her quickly back to the car. As they pulled away, Emily risked one last glance in the mirror. Nancy was laughing with her friends by the fire pit near the shore, too far to have seen them clearly. But the danger was growing closer. Jason drove her home in silence. At the curb, he finally spoke, his voice low. Emily. I don't know what you're hiding. But whatever it is, I don't care. I like you. And I want to see you again. Emily's throat tightened. She clutched the stuffed rabbit still sitting in the passenger seat from the carnival, her heart racing. Jason, she whispered, but no answer came. He leaned closer, his hand brushing hers on the gear shift, waiting for her to close the space. And Emily, torn between two selves, didn't know if she could.